Dear Kismet helps you dive into the mysteries behind cardology, or the astrology and numerology of the playing cards. We answer questions from our tribe and discuss world events and celebrities, all through the lens of this magical, ancient system. Our goal? To help you align with what is written in your cards and to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. If you go to our website, itiskismet.com, and enter your birthday, you'll get to your card's one-stop shop where you will find a 15-page report on your card and much, much more. You can also go to our site to find the cosmic connections, also known as the planetary energies, between you and another person. Now is the time for cardology to become as encoded in the collective energy as astrology and numerology are. So please tell your friends about Kismet.
Hey everybody, it's Laura with Kismet, and I'm back here again for our show, Dear Kismet. I'm here with Paula. Say hi, Paula.
Hi, everybody.
And I'm here with Candy. Say hi, Candy.
Hey, everybody.
And we are starting out this episode with a letter that someone wrote in. But first, I want to explain a little bit about what's going on with this show. So we are talking about cardology, also known as the Destiny Card System. Cardology is a combination of astrology and numerology, and it's based on the playing cards. So basically, you have a card that you were dealt on the day you were born. You also have an entire hand that goes with that card, and then a whole bunch of other shit too. So if you are curious and you're just coming across this video for the first time, you're going to go to our website, itiskismet.com, and look up your birthday, and you'll start to find out your information. You can get a free 15-page report that was written, original content by Paula over here, who's been studying the cards for at least 20 years. And yeah. So Candy is going to read this letter from Cindy, who has written in about her career.
Yeah, so I probably could have written it. Cindy asked a question that I struggled with for quite a while myself, and it is the following. Dear Kismet, how do I know when it's time to quit my job? I'm a successful vice president with opportunities for growth ahead of me. My bank account is full, but I feel empty inside. Everyone around me assumes I'm having an amazing time because I can buy whatever I want. Everything except my happiness. I dream about quitting my job and taking some time for myself. Is that selfish? She signs it. Thanks for your guidance. She's a 6 of diamonds. Paula, what advice do we have for Cindy? Is it time for her to quit?
Okay, so a number of things on this. First of all, she's asking one of the primary questions for her life. This is really important work that she's doing at this point, because her Saturn card for her life, so of the cards in your hand, one of them is ruled by Saturn, which tells you what your classroom is and your most difficult thing. And for the 6 of diamonds, it's the Ace of Hearts, which is the card of the baby, the inner child, or self-focus. So obviously this can turn into being self-centered or fixated on oneself, but the higher vibration of that is to be really in tune with yourself and really self-aware. So she is obviously doing some really important work of waking up to what she wants and what she needs. And it's very typical for a 6 of diamonds to serve everything that's around them, to serve the structures that are around them, to keep them going. She has a 9 as a karma card, which makes her very intuitive to the needs of others. So there can be some caretaking going on of making sure everyone else is happy. So good for her in coming across this all-important need. So if we actually look at her cards, during the ages which she began considering quitting the job and then finally doing that, she had a series of aces in that year when she began contemplating that. And aces are, so I've just said it's about the inner child, but it's also a seed energy. It's like planting a seed of desire. So she was beginning to desire something new, something different, and it takes time. And so through the next year or so, she began experiencing some 5s and 9s, and 5s make you restless and dissatisfied with where you're at, and it can be a very agitating, challenging, difficult experience for someone who is a 6 or they tend to like things to just go smoothly and have it planned out. But when there's a change afoot, it just upsets their apple cart. The apples aren't going to be in a row anymore. So that was shaking her up and helping her realize, what do I not like about this? And so then, go ahead.
I was going to say, just to kind of set the frame for folks that are listening too, we had some back and forth with Sydney when we got her letter in. We asked her for some additional information. And in the course of sharing this information back and forth that Paula sent to her, we were able to find out that she actually did leave her job. So we were able to look at, yeah, when should she have? Yeah, she made the right decision, and kind of hear where the steps that she went through and match it to the card. So it was kind of a unique situation that we had. So I just wanted to bring that up, Paula, because you were kind of talking in past tense, like she'd already done it, because we know
That's
she has.
true. And we did know the ages that she was when she progressed through this. So yeah, when she finally ended up with like 3 9s in 1 year, it was finally time to bring closure and ending to that situation. And she was ready because she had processed through all of that. So the most important thing here is the importance of the Saturn card. And the question, the all telling question is, I'm not happy, but I want to do this. Is that selfish? So obviously that's really the question. What is selfishness? And that is spot on for the fact that that's her Saturn card, and that's the work that she has to do in this lifetime, is figure out how to be selfish. What does that look like in a way that's going to be beneficial for everybody?
So for someone like Cindy, that is a 6 of diamonds, that is, sounds like a pleaser, right? She's in tune to everybody around her. She wants people to be happy and at peace. So it's of course going to be hard for her to make decisions that others, or where she feels like she's letting others down. Did it take her to get to a point where she had 3 9s in her hand for her to finally be able to make that decision? Or was it just coincidence?
It was actually a couple of years. Is that your question? Like, did it take
Yeah.
time?
No,
Yeah, like did
it actually,
well, sorry.
I think the question was it the impact of having those aces and those 9s right in a row what finally forced her? Like, why didn't she do this 10 years before that? Or, why was it exactly this age, and what was happening in the cards at this age that finally pushed her to that decision? Is that what you're asking, Candy?
Yep.
oh my God, I have a great answer that I didn't even see before. Okay, so yeah, there's some huge insight here. So the 7-year cycle that she was going through between age 35 and 41 has a number of cards that tell us about that period of time and what her tasks were. The long range card was the Ace of Diamonds, so another ace. It is your task to become selfish here. The Pluto card, which asks the question, what has to die? What part of my ego has to die so that something can be born? And that is the Ace of Spades. And that's the more challenging of the aces. It's the most advanced or all-inclusive ace. And so what this means is not just you're going to find a new career during this period of time, but you're going to really come to some self-definition and clarity about who you are and what you want. And then the result card for that Pluto work of self-knowing is the 4 of Diamonds, which is clarity of values, satisfaction of values. I know what is important to me. So because it was Pluto work, of course it was really difficult, and it felt it was threatening her survival program. And that's what Pluto work does. It makes you feel like you're going to die because you're doing something that's violating a really old program that says, if you don't do this, you're going to die. Like as a child, if you demonstrate anger, you won't survive. Or if you are selfish, you're not going to be loved. And so obviously this is the Pluto work that she's doing, is really looking at that program and going, I don't like this so much anymore. So I'm going to violate it, which is going to make me feel like I'm going to die, which means this is going to take a while. But also it's very telling that that she completed the process at the beginning of her new 7-year cycle. It wasn't complete until she'd really digested her way through that. So that's another thing I just want to point out about the cards. It's one of the great benefits that comes from working with this card system is that you realize you're on time and you didn't miss some big giant opportunity, or something shouldn't have happened a long time ago. It's like, no, now is the right time. Now is the time you're supposed to be dealing with this.
Yeah, I love that. I just had a psychic reading the other day, and the woman said on time and in time. And I thought that was such a perfect phrase.
Oh.
Everything is on time and in time. So guys, you can get a reading with Paula, so she can do this for you, whatever issues you're dealing with. So if you jump onto our website and go to the menu, you'll see the information about the readings. Candy, was there anything else you had any other questions about with this one?
No, I mean, I just think the fact that, Paula, well, actually both you and Laura, what you just said about the fact that she didn't miss out. She didn't wait too long to make the decision. She made it in the exact moment that she was supposed to make it. I mean, just knowing that, Cindy, if you're listening, that should bring such a sense of relief. Like, oh my God, that's beautiful. We don't have to live with regret or worry or wonder. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Right, no time wasted. You were just soaking every bit of juice out of that experience.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, like speaking of the readings that I've done for people with the cards, and I know Paula feels the same way. It's like people don't come and get readings when things are going well in their life. It's like when the shit is really fucked up, that's when you need a reading. So if you're feeling that way,
Yeah.
these can really help. I know that all the readings that I get are really helpful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
it can be so validating for what that right and good and aligned part of you already knows, and getting that validated helps you to learn how to trust that voice.
exactly. So true. Trusting your own inner voice. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to jump over to our next segment. And this is a question that a friend of mine named Rebecca, who's a 10 of clubs, asked the other day. And I actually haven't even told her the answer yet, but we're going to find out what the answer is right now. She texted me and she said, okay, so what does it mean if it's a 10 of clubs day, like the day of the week or whatever day it is actually the 10 of clubs, but it's not her birthday? What kind of energy would a 10 of clubs person be experiencing on a 10 of clubs day? Does that resonate with that person?
Yes, in fact, my working theory on this is that the planetary ruler is going to be your assignment. So let me explain that a little bit. So if she's a 10 of clubs, but her planetary ruler, do you happen to know her birthday? November 10th is her birthday, which means that her planetary rulers, and she has two of them because she's a Scorpio, and we're not going to go into that right now, why that is the case. But she has the Three of Hearts and Three of Diamonds as planetary rulers. However, on April 24th, the planetary ruler is the King of Spades, which is the Venus card for all 10 of clubs. And this causes them to ask the question, what is my responsibility in the context of Venus, which would be home, family, relationship, friendship, or even the women in my life? So that may be a day that really activated that particular life question for her. And the day that it is, if an event happens on that day, I think it is relevant to look at the card.
Hang on, let's back up for just a second. So let me summarize that real quick. So basically, there are a whole bunch of 10 of clubs days throughout the year, and depending on what sun sign it's in, there's a different like planetary ruling card assigned to it. So basically what Paula was saying is the April 24th, which is Taurus, ruled by Venus. She was looking at the Venus card in the hand of the 10 of clubs. So if you're looking for your hand, you can get that in your kit. If you're going to our website, it is kismet.com, look up your birthday, go to our one-stop shop. You'll find information on your kit there, and then you'll be able to figure out your hand from the kit. But so she was saying that Venus card would be the focus for all 10 of clubs that day, because all 10 of clubs have the same Venus card, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. Does that make sense, Candy?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes we speak this card language and it's like blah, blah, blah ginger to the world. So
Yeah. Okay, so now the next question Paula was getting ready to kind of jump into, which is all about basically like for events. So for example, we all met each other and on July 1st, and Candy and I had gone with Amy, who's another business partner of ours, and another friend of ours out to Boulder, and we decided to get a psychic reading, and that's where we met Paula. And we just looked up this date like a few weeks ago and realized that July 1st is actually the Ace of Spades, and the Ace of Spades is the card that represents the card system. So we could not have planned it any better ourselves. We just listened to our intuition, and it all became destiny. It became Kismet. So the question now is, then we also did not pay any attention to the day we like opened the business officially with the state, the LLC, and we picked January 8th. And that is a Six of Spades, which is a really karmic card as well. So like, for example, let's take that whole idea that we met on July 1st, and that's the Ace of Spades. So what does that say about what our relationship is supposed to be like?
Okay, well, I think it's much more important to look back than it is to look forward and try to plan this out because um, you just don't know what the universe is up to. So it's like you'd rather let the universe draw the picture with the pen of time and then understand it afterwards. So anyway, the way we can look at July 1st is, okay, the Ace of Spades represents the card system itself. So obviously that makes a lot of sense to us now, is that the card system brought us together and now we've created this website. And the name of the website, we thought, oh, it's just Kismet, how we met. And we all liked that word and it just came together. But then the day that we decided to, what do you call it, Laura, incorporate?
Yeah, we opened the business officially.
Yes, and the day that we did that is the Six of Spades, January 8th. And the Six of Spades is called the Destiny card, or the card of fate. And that is the definition of Kismet. But we had chosen the word before we realized that that was the day. So it's much more useful to look back and kind of just see the design of the universe. And I think you really have to get some time behind you before you can really capture the theme of a relationship, you know, a meeting of some kind or an event. But it can be useful.
Yeah, so tell us about, okay, Candy, why don't you ask your question?
Well, so to summarize what you said before I ask my question is I'm a novice to the cards, especially when compared to Paula and Laura. So I like to kind of dumb it down or, you know, make it basic. Rather than trying to look forward and pick a date and assign some sort of meaning behind it, it's much better that we just allow life, that flow and that current to continue to happen, and just allow the events in our lives to unfold as they naturally feel that they should, because more than likely we're being impacted by the energy of the cards. So we're being guided to make the decisions and to do these things on the right dates without having to try to plan it and be specific. Is that what I heard you say, Paula?
Yes, that's very good. Yeah, and I would add that we're being guided from within. If you just live your life from this place of inner knowing and what feels right, um, do that. That's much more reliable than trying to go into your head and figure it out. Like if somebody presented me with a couple of different dates, I could do an in-depth analysis and it would take me a while because I would have to figure out the planetary ruling card of that day and the relationship to their card and then the relationship to their relationship card and the karma cards and blah, 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 blah. It's a lot to look into. And I could possibly burp out an answer and say, Tuesday feels better. But by the time I get them the answer, they'll go, you know, Tuesday just felt better to us.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah.
you know, and how do I know what your karma is? You know, the universe knows and it'll just happen.
So with that then, my husband and I married on January 1st. So what's that mean for us?
Okay, January 1st is the King of Spades, the master card of the deck, the highest number. So they're all sequenced. It's card number 52. So the implication or like the mythology of it is that someone has progressed through all of the cards of the deck and they've arrived at this position of vision and insight and achievement and mastery. How that works into this life and human bodies and human people who are still developing, do we ever get to mastery? The question is really responsibility. When someone has that card, they feel that they are responsible for everything and everyone. And what's nice about that is that you get this real grown-up energy. It's like we're adults here and we're willing to be adults and we want to deal with what spades deal with, everything. We want to deal with the emotional implications and the thoughts and the belief systems. We want to deal with values and money and pragmatic stuff and timing. And I mean, they're looking at everything. So my guess is that the relationship, that's one thing that you can really step back and appreciate about it, is that you don't have your head in the sand. As a couple, you're just like, okay, let's be realistic here. But the way that the ego can get involved and distort that is to feel that everything is your responsibility. And it's going to be challenging to figure out, well, what are we actually responsible for or in control of? Like, for example, your kids' lives, you know, as they get older and they get more access to electronic equipment and stuff like that. Are you going to be the kind of parents who are going to have a surveillance thing going on? And like, we need to know what's going on because we're responsible. Or are you going to be able to trust and step back and go, we're not responsible for some of their choices. So does that resonate?
Yeah. So this is not our first marriage. We've both been married before. And literally, we've had some of these discussions about, okay, so we're adults, we're grown-ups, like it's time to be real. We can't keep running and hiding from the stuff that we've brought into the relationship or the things that we're each going through. And it's the big stuff. It's like, so what's our relationship with money and individually? And what are our spiritual beliefs and how are they different? How are they the same? And what are the things that are positive in our lives versus negatives? Where do we have addictions or codependencies? Or where are we able to truly allow one another to kind of evolve and grow and hold space? And so yeah, it's that deep, chunky, meaty stuff, and it feels like it's coming at us from every direction. And every once in a while you just kind of have to step back and take a breath and be like, okay, like we're just going to tackle this one piece at a time.
Yeah, or have a beer and relax.
Right. Or both.
Yeah, wow, that has some really deep implications. And yeah, I just want to say, just in terms of getting reflections and readings about this kind of thing, is that if Candy and I continue to talk about this, it would really develop and fill out, because the more feedback she gives me, the more I can look at the whole hand of the King of Spades, for instance, or her guides or my guides will begin to pop information in there. It can be an incredibly esoteric and deep process of just really feeling like you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, it's almost another alternative to couples counseling.
Yeah. Well, I just bumped out I grabbed these charts, long story, also on our website, on the blog, but Paula is much better at this than I am, but I quickly glanced and I realized diagonally, Candy's Six of Diamonds card is diagonally Jupiter to the King of Spades, and it's the Three of Spades. Holy crap, hold on. I think the Three of Spades on the other chart is one of the Saturn cards to the King of Spades. So is Jeff feeling more Saturn-y to this situation, like more lesson learning, and Candy's being a little more blessed by the marriage? Does that?
Yeah, well, that Jupiter can be difficult work too. The energy of Saturn is to contract and figure out what's real. And I think it's about subtracting things from the situation. What do I need to stop doing? Whereas Jupiter is about expansion. What do I need to add to the situation? Which of my potentials and abilities do I need to bring to the fore to make this work? So yeah, expansion work can be as challenging as contracting work. It's just that Saturn's in your face a little bit more, and Jupiter is a little more fun because it's like, oh, I can find out what I can do here. What's my potential? Is that how it feels to you, Candy?
Yeah, and that it sometimes it almost feels like we're coming at it from different directions, which would be the, how can I expand out versus what can I take away? So yeah, that energy definitely exists there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I think that's the takeaway here then is, yeah, you can look back on the day you've chosen to get married or the day you've incorporated a business, and you'll get more information about what the energy is around that. And the day you bumped or met someone too, what was the energy of that day? Because it's clearly with these three examples that we've had, the energy of the card that day very much carries into what the purpose is of this relationship or this business or whatever.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just like, my head is spinning and I'm going, okay, we met on a Two of Clubs day. That's about overcoming fear and communicating with kindness. And, whoa. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So, okay, that wraps up episode 2. So if you would like to ask us a question, just go down underneath this video and find the link. It is kismet.com/ask, and you can ask away. And check out our blog. We have a Dear Kismet blog as well. So you can go to our website and we'll be answering some questions over there. There are lots of videos on our blog and our YouTube channel to help get you introduced to the card system. There is a playlist called Cardology 101 where we go through some of the basics of the card system. And then of course on our website, you can get your report for your card. You can check out your planetary ruling card, your second most important card, and get that report. You can get your kit, which is packed full of a whole bunch of amazing stuff. And you can get readings from Paula and I. So just go play around, and we will see you next time. Please subscribe to our channel and pass this along to your friends. Thank you.